today's video, I'm gonna show you how to synthesize this sub bass that is kind of liquidy, but it's really amazing on tracks in my opinion, and it sounds like this. This is an octave up, and then an octave down. Just a heads up, we're gonna use the EQ8 from Ableton and the drum bus. So if we're not using Ableton, I think there are other audio effects that is similar to the drum bus. This is available in every software, but I'm not sure if the drum bus is available in GarageBand or FL Studio. Okay, so how to create this? I added a limiter just so it doesn't get too loud. We're going to use Isolator A, the sub, and the noise. For Isolator A, we're going to choose the square saw WRD. You want to go 3 octaves down, and then for the unison, we're going to increase it to 3. You want to decrease the volume to half, and then we're going to choose the sub and go 3 octaves down and make sure it's direct out so it doesn't get affected by the effects tab. And then we're going to choose the noise. You can choose any of the attack kicks in this section, but we're going to use the 61. You want to increase this to 78% and make sure it's one shot. And right now it sounds like this. It's not really a great sound. For the envelope, we're gonna make it it's going down, and then we're gonna add some release to it. So it sounds like this now. This is for envelope 1. We're gonna use envelope 2 to modulate the level knob and the chorus knob, or the section. You want to make it similar to this, but without really the release, not too much release. You want to place it to the level and then decrease this to 30 or 35, and then drag this into the chorus. You want to make sure this is unipolar instead of bipolar, and then decrease this to 7 so it sounds like this. Make sure it's mono, because it's technically a sub bass. Also, if you want it to be more clicky, you can choose the FM Noise Isolator and increase this. So this is without any FM from the noise, and this is with FM. Kind of just gives it this clicky, but we're gonna actually do this with the drum bus, so we're not gonna actually need this. We're going to use distortion, the sine fold, and for the drive, we're going to make it around 33%, and the mix is around 30%, 28%. We're going to add flanger. You want to make sure it's all the way up for the rate, and then the depth all the way down, and then the feed is 70%. Maybe just increase the phase to 20 or 270 degrees, and the mix stays the same. For the chorus, the rate stays the same, the 2 delays stays the same, and then the depth, you want to decrease it to 2 milliseconds, and then the feed is all the way up to 70%. So for this, for the low pass filter for the chorus, if you wanted to focus on the high frequencies, which is this kind of liquid sound, you can increase this to maybe 6,000 hertz and it sounds like this, but I prefer it around maybe 300 hertz, so it actually focuses on the low frequencies, so it sounds like this. It's just up to your preference if you want it to focus on the high frequencies and the low frequencies, or just the low frequencies. Then we're going to use the compressor. You want to increase this to -21 decibels, and then the ratio stays the same the attack, maybe just increase this or decrease this to 44 milliseconds. The release stays the same, and then you want the gain to be around 10 decibels. For the last thing, we're going to use the EQ. Just as I said, you can use the EQ from Serum instead of the EQ from the actual software. So you want to increase the low frequencies, and then you want to narrow it down to actually only the low frequencies. So you want to increase the Q to maybe 90%. And it sounds like this. Okay, for the EQ, you want to increase the high and the mid frequencies. And again, you can actually do this from this EQ directly. And then for the drum bus, you want to make the drive 20%, the crunch 0%, and then the boom, depending if you want this to be a really subby kind of bass, you want to increase the boom. If you want it to be like more kind of an effects instead of the main sub bass, you want to decrease the boom. And then the damp is all the way up and the frequency around 66 Hertz. This is where the magic happens. You want to make the transient around 0.6, and it sounds like this with the boom decreased. And then if you want to increase the boom, I'm just gonna lower the volume. Yeah, that's it. Also, you can go to my store, online store, and it has the sample pack and the preset for the Serum files. And I have this kind of a clothing collection that I'm trying out, which is really cool. It has sine wave stickers and then the sine wave tote bag. For the digital files, if you can't afford it or you're like financially struggling and you really want them, you can just send me an email telling me or saying that you want either the sample pack or the preset, and I can send it for free. And also the loop pack is for free. Thank you for watching.